also mention before we move on that you who are going to Australia, you have a learning agreement as well. It just looks different, so you fill out this one instead. And you don't have to do both learning agreements. You either do the European one or you do the one for outside of Europe. So this one is only for the people here who are going to Australia. And it says here as well, it reminds you how many credits you need to achieve for Australia. So here, 40 Australian credits from second year, yeah, because you're both going to Britain. Cool. So going back to this one, you just fill out your name here, so it could be Thompson, comma, Sophie or something. Your surname first and then your forename, and your date of birth and your nationality again, and your address. You can use the address of your parents if you don't know where if you've given up your family room, for example, and your phone number. And here you put in the academic year 2017 to 18. And here you write your degree, what you're taking, so fine art, for example, or drawing. And here, so this section, the code, you just click on this link and you find what you think is relevant, what you think match with your subject area. It's a way to categorize different degrees. Sorry. So here, you are obviously not doing a degree in agriculture or horticulture or fishery or forestry or anything. So you find some relevant ones over here, like fine arts, music, performing arts, design. So you pick one that's relevant to what you do. If it's like art rather than fine art, it's not what is going to happen. It's just you try and pick the one that's best descriptive of your course. We've already clicked the box to say that you will receive an Erasmus grant there. And then we need to know where to pay this Erasmus grant. So you put in the name of the bank, and what we need to be able to pay you is the name of the bank and the sort code and the account number. And then you could also put here type of bank account, so like is it a savings account, is it a current account? You can find these longer numbers like IBAN or SWIFT as well. But what we actually need is the sort code and the account number. And on the agreement that I have attached to the email, I think it says that as well, the sort code and account number as well. If you have a foreign bank account, so let's say you're from Lithuania and you want me to pay you into your Lithuanian bank account, then we need the BIC and SWIFT because that's an international payment. But if it's a UK account, we just need your sort code and your account number, like what everyone else needs to be able to pay you a payment, basically. Yeah. And here you just delete the part that says traineeships because we're not doing a traineeship, we're doing a study placement. And here you put the start and finish date. So this is quite important because you look at the academic calendar of the university, so you find out it's the first day of the semester and the last day of the semester. But a lot of time, like for example here at Falmouth, you've already had your last handings, for example, so technically you could go somewhere else right now, you don't have to be here anymore. But if that's what happens at the other university, then just keep the first day of the semester and the last day of the semester as it was at the beginning. And then if you go a week early or if you stay a week longer for a holiday, then that's pretty irrelevant. Like, we just want the dates of the official semester.
I really struggle to find some of the dates. They're really out there on the website about when the term started and ended.
Yeah, so in that case, you just have to email them because obviously all the different universities will change their term dates each year. So it's not like we have that information, so you just have to try and ask them about it. Yeah. And if they ask you to come early for orientation, then we really advise you to go to the orientation. And in that case, you can put the orientation date as the start date rather than the official date of the semester. So it's basically the first date that they ask you to be there and then the last day of the semester. Yes?
So if term time is October to February,
Yes.
do we just come back here like a month late?
Yeah, so this is where you need to make sure that you have talked to everyone about this, because if your semester abroad is a bit too long, like in summer terms, you need to speak to the home university, so you need to speak to Kate and say, is it okay if I arrive back a few weeks late? Like, how late can I be until there's like consequence? And maybe she can give you something to keep up with while you're out there, so that you don't feel left out when you come back, and you can slot straight into it a bit more. And maybe as well that Venice could maybe let you hand in something early, so maybe you don't actually have to be there until February. Maybe they could let you sit an exam a week early, or hand in online while you're already back in Falmouth, for example.
Okay.
Yeah, so you need to talk to both sides about this, so that they know, so you're not like panicking in late January, like what am I going to do about this? Yeah, but it's almost never a problem. But we can almost always work around this. It's never like stopping the exchanges. It's just talking to both academics about how to resolve the issue, basically. Yeah, so put in the start and finish dates, and then I will fill out the blank spaces for how many days you're gone and how much money you're getting. And then here we say that you need to get the European health insurance card. So this is to ensure that you get the same medical care as like a national of that country. So it doesn't cover everything, but if, for example, if you have like dental issues and stuff like that, don't do that while you're over in a different country, because that will be expensive. Like, I'm Swedish, for example, and dental care in Sweden is quite expensive even if you're Swedish. So it's not going to cover things like that. It's going to just get you to have the same terms as a national in that country. So you might still have to pay small fees, like 10 euro fee just to see the doctor or set up an appointment, and then you're going to have to pay a bit for medication, but you're not going to get into any like massive bills. But like I said, it doesn't cover everything, so we strongly recommend that you also get a proper proper travel insurance, because there could be other things that take place, and you might travel a lot in other places. So let's say you go to Netherlands for your exchange, but then you also want to visit like Germany and Belgium while you're over in that area. So it is really useful to have a proper travel insurance for the whole period that you're abroad. And we did have a student who got their laptop stolen, for example. So yeah, it doesn't cost that much, so I'd really advise you just to buy health insurance for the whole time as well. But you definitely need a European health insurance card, and you can just sign up to that on the NHS website, and it shouldn't cost you anything either. Great. And this stuff below here is if you do a traineeship, but you're not going to do a traineeship, so you just have to worry about the student part. And then you sign it and date it, and then when you have everything ready, so you have all the forms, and you have signed this, and your lecturer has signed the learning agreement, and the other university has signed the learning agreement, then you send everything to me, and then I will sign my part. So you don't have to like come to me in between and get the signature from me. Like you can send it with everything ready except my signature, and I sign it when I see you've done everything.
Cool. Can I do that online as well, or like by email? Because some of